Alright, fellas, how them rapes looking lately?
What?
Hey, how's it going? This is a little experiment we're going to be doing today. A little unnamed talk show, I guess you could call it. We got a little circle in the corner there,
Hey.
a little puppy in that corner there, and our token Asian.
Token. No.
our sleepy Asian. So that's Sergal, Puppy, and Hempaku, and we are currently wanting to discuss a video that we discovered, a video by whose creators named Anna. How do you pronounce that last name, Puppy?
Let me
Anna Akana?
Anna Akana.
Yeah, Anna Akana.
Akana.
Anna Akana. Akana, like anaconda.
Okay. Don't stray off it. Oh my.
Ha ha ha, very clever.
Wow.
Indeed.
But anywho, we were wanting to discuss her newest, or one of her newest videos she released, entitled "How Not to Get Raped." So that's such an amazing name for a video, don't you guys agree?
At
Oh,
first
yeah,
glance, though,
definitely.
the very first
Bravo.
glance of it, just the name in general, just makes me like, really?
Well,
And then watching the whole video through, it's like, oh, this does do. Okay, she's a freaking comedian at main point.
well, yeah. Obviously, her channel is
How not to get raped. Watch the video. It's how to get raped. Okay.
yeah.
I think the humor here involves a lot of like satire, so
Well, it does obviously involve satire, but the thing that baffles me is when I'm watching it, I loved the video. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. It was fun. It was cute. I guess you could say this is more of a response to that, but there was a little bit of misleading information that some people may take out of context. And one of those was a statement she had at the very end saying that we basically need to teach men not to rape. I don't know about you guys, but I immediately thought that that was a low blow considering...
Because women can do the same thing to men.
Well, yeah, women can do the same. Can do the
Well,
same.
to be fair, I mean, rape is not normally a danger for men. I mean, I don't walk around the corner and think, oh my god, am I in danger of being raped? Like, who's that shadow behind me? Is that person safe to talk to? I don't really think about stuff like that. Men are kind of like not really in the rape radar. Women, on the other hand, are. They have to be kind of more alert
Well,
to the dangers because, well, I don't know. I mean, like when men want to fuck, they just want to fuck, and then some of them can't control that, and so they'll just rape someone. Like it's just plain and simple.
Yeah, but the ones who can't control that kind of have a little bit of a problem. Like when I've noticed the ones
Well,
who...
yeah, they have a problem. That's why everyone's calling
help.
them a rapist. There's a word for it because it's a problem.
Yeah.
Right, and it's a problem that primarily women worry about. You see, so this video, like she's saying, oh, okay, well, basically what the point is. She says, okay, women go through a lot of everything. They'll have someone drive their home, stay with friends, never be out alone and stuff. They have to make this effort, right? Guys don't normally need to think about things like that. We're not, like I said, we're not targets. We're not primary targets on the rape radar. Gay rape, stuff like that. I'm not talking about that right now. That could happen though. And then so, she's saying, well, it feels like, it feels like we're having to be responsible for protecting our own, like chastity or whatever.
Well,
Like it's like solely the responsibility of the woman, but it's actually kind of everyone's responsibility. It's a good point, if you
it is everybody's
it's
responsibility. I'm not going to lie there. It's...
What's
What?
going on now? All of a
I
sudden,
can't
there's
hear
less
him.
talking.
Well, it's not there's less talking. What? Can you guys not hear me now or something? Or...
You're far
Barely.
away.
Your volume died.
Oh, I turned down the decibels to see something. Apparently it failed on me. Here, let me fix that.
I begin to wonder that, they worry about getting raped. And I'm thinking in my head, maybe it's because of the clothing they wear to make
Well,
them more noticeable?
Well, okay. Some
That could
reason.
mean nothing really, because some people would just go
But
after.
some people will actually go because of that.
If
Well,
you if
yeah,
you want
I've...
to talk strictly about the danger of being raped, everyone is in danger of being raped by anyone. Okay, man
Bingo.
or woman.
Excuse me, do you have the time?
No, I don't have the time for rape.
However,
yeah.
if we're talking primarily who gets raped, it's usually a woman. Okay, and then things that increase the chances of one getting raped are, of course, okay, clothing, where are you, what time are you at that location, who are you with, what were you doing? Like these are all factors. So,
Well, yeah.
obviously if a girl doesn't want to get raped, and they have to worry about these things, okay? Now, like I said, I'm a guy. I don't, I'm not a rapist or anything, and I don't think about getting raped by anyone because it's not a normal thing for guys. So I don't think about, what I need to wear, where I need to be, what time, what's safe, what's not safe. Like that's just not a thing that goes through my head. I can't, and most guys, it's not a big concern for them. They can't see it from the female point of side. Like it's a serious nature. Like like number one threat to man really is just like like I don't know, heart disease or something, or getting into a car accident. Like I just think about oh, I should make sure I drive safely in the lane and look both ways at the stop sign before hitting the gas and going across, and make sure I don't run over any kids. That's kind of what I think about when I'm out and about. But women
Yeah.
probably have a little bit more. It's like one
I
extra
was,
thing they have to worry about.
Well,
and that was just the one thing that was going through my mind about that. I was thinking about the clothing wise that they wear that make them look more attractive and get that more most attention.
well,
Well,
I made actually a point about this a while ago. Sorry to cut you off there, Hempaku. There was a point that I tried to make to somebody that yes, I believe it can be the clothing from time to time, especially when you see like some of the girls that were raped were wearing very small and skimpy outfits, and the way I'm thinking is I'm not saying you shouldn't wear anything. You shouldn't wear anything that makes you feel
yes,
sexy or
go out
makes you
completely naked. All women, you should
yeah,
go out
go
completely
out
naked.
naked. Go out naked. That's
Don't wear
perfectly
anything.
fine.
You
No
won't
But
get
free
raped.
titty
It's
balling.
totally cool.
That's a really good broadcast right there from right out there.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
Good
oh
job.
yeah,
Like,
Good
oh
job.
hey
totally.
everybody that's female, take off your clothes and work out. No, that's not gonna go over well.
No, 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 no. Okay, obviously we're kidding right here, but the point is, it's we're not saying that just because you want to feel sexy or feel complete for some odd reason that this is what you're wanting to feel. That's not a bad thing, but when you're walking around at night with very skimpy clothing, it's very obvious that you can't defend yourself. You can't hide anything in some of those weapon or in some of those clothing. So it just makes me think, oh, so they're more of a target. Of course, somebody would go after them rather than somebody who's completely dressed wearing loose and baggy clothing.
Well,
That
are
or they might
these
get
who?
picked up as a hooker. I don't know.
Well,
How?
they could get raped in broad daylight. It happens.
Well, yeah, people have gotten raped in broad daylight, and it's that's
Yes. Like
yeah.
it's more. I think the fundamental problem here is that a man is raping a woman in this case. Like taken in context, like which why is it like, oh, well, you should wear this. You should not be out at night. Like it's kind of, I don't know what the word is. Restricted, restraining, like loss of freedom. Like I don't know what the word is, but why is that? How is that fair?
Well,
You
you're
know,
right. How is it fair? And
why is it just makes it feel like why aren't we focusing about the offender? The woman is totally the victim when they get raped. And yeah, sure, okay. There are some cases. Yes, we could say, oh yeah, well, she wore a really short skirt. She was out late at night in a really shady place. Of course, she got raped. Yeah, no one ever says anything like, oh man, what a terrible person that rapist was. He just saw her and decided he can stick his dick in her pussy for no reason. Like like you
well, yeah.
can't. That's like, why aren't we talking more about that? Is kind of what the message of this video is. Like.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like keep it in your pants. Don't like follow some common sense. Like don't violate other people, man or woman. Like it seems kind of unfair that we're always talking about like what women should do not to get raped, when we could also be talking about what guys should do not to rape women.
Well,
You know what I
obviously, in
mean?
that sense, what could be done is obviously not do it. Another thought
That
could be
Well,
well,
okay, then why do men rape women?
Yeah, you get any good rapes, dog?
well, most men
Huh?
do it for power or because there's something mentally wrong with
Dominance.
them that makes them feel like they have to do it. Like,
Or that
Okay,
sexual lusting
let's
urge to
see.
go after a
For
female in the
example,
evening.
well, what are some examples I can think of? Like, let's say person A knows person, person B, and
yeah.
person A is just like, hey, we should get together sometime. She's like, no, I don't see you like that. We probably shouldn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he just rapes her, like it's like, oh, I want to fuck you, but you won't fuck me, so fuck you anyways. I'll just rape you, you know, like getting what you want. Some people just do it because they want. Some people do it because they have like a psychological problem. It satisfies their psyche or whatever. Like they have a problem. Some people do it because yes, for dominating reasons. Like why? But fundamentally, why are people raping other people? Is a good question. Like look into that, and then what are some preventive measures? A lot of it could be said like because we always seem to assume, oh well, this rapist like he's crazy, he's got a mental problem or whatever. But sometimes some people are perfectly sane, they just simply committing rape too.
Yeah.
And it probably could be a lot more reasonable than some of the crazy people who are just raping because they're crazy. What about that? And we're not really looking at that. So, I don't even know where to like to draw an example from and say how many of whichever type is doing what, and which can we appeal to prevent rape, anti-rape measures and stuff like that. We've
Well,
got these. Go
well,
ahead.
what I was going to say. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off again. Well,
No, it's okay.
You do
I just
remember.
talk nonstop.
Well, you do remember that she did point out that they do have these measures in her video. That the whole they have pepper spray, they have like the cute
Use
little
tasers.
keychains, the tasers, all those things to help protect yourself. But the thing that baffled me was when she went off of that saying we shouldn't need these, but that's just it. If we lived in a perfect society, yes, we wouldn't need these, and I wish for that perfect society to where we wouldn't need things like this. The sad thing is, we as humans are disgusting creatures and sometimes go off of baser instinct. Therefore, we kind of need these, and we need to teach kids at an early age, yes, that rape is a horrible crime and it could happen to anyone.
It can
But
even happen to little kids. You just
yeah,
don't know it.
it could even happen to little kids. You don't know it. We should teach them young. And yes, it instills fear, but without fear, that's what usually happens to some of these people who get get raped. Like there was a woman who wandered through a graveyard, and I will actually put a link to this story in the description. That she walked through a graveyard. She got jumped by like two guys, and they raped her right there in the graveyard. Yeah, perfect place to get raped, in a freaking graveyard of all places.
Kind of reminds me of the movie Spit on Your Grave regarding to that, but that's
Yeah,
just me.
but point being is that's what happened to her. But her key words were, "I don't think it would happen to me." Now,
Of course, it would you think that. That's a problem in general as is. It's going
like
to happen no matter
Well,
what.
that's kind of situational though.
that is
It's like, oh,
situational, but when you sit there and think that it's not going to happen to you and you continue making the same mistakes, it's going to happen to you. You can
well,
say,
if
Wait,
anyone
wait,
thinks, oh, it's not going to happen to me, then that's unfortunately that person's responsibility,
well,
you
yes,
know,
of course, that's that
because
person's
because you
responsibility.
should never think, well, it's not going to happen to me. You can kind of imagine, well, like, oh, I didn't think that would happen to me. It's kind of not a common thing, right? Yeah, sure, or whatever. But like if but that doesn't mean the danger isn't never there. So if you think
Well,
stuff like that, you're kind of putting yourself at risk just by thinking like that. And
So,
situationally, I'd say, yeah.
long story
Long story
short, is
short,
it's like you're responsible for your own problems that you potentially cause.
it's what she's not saying. Oh, it's not. She's not trying to put responsibility all on the guys and say that girls are not responsible for their safety. It's kind of like if you're in a community, then everyone's responsible. It's I forgot the word. uh, Shared responsibility or whatever. There's a word for it that I can't find right now.
In your repertoire. Got it. I can't figure out the word
But
for
well,
anyways,
some reason.
what I mean to say is everyone's responsible. Everyone's responsible for the safety of everyone else too. Women will do their part, right? But men should also do their part, right? It just maybe what she's saying is like maybe it just feels like there's too much focus on what women should do and how their part should be played, and not so much the
well,
guy's part role in keeping the peace. right?
Well, that
Especially since
yeah.
in most rape cases, the guy is actually the offender, you know. And why are we talking about what women should do not to get raped when we could also be talking about how to stop guys from raping women,
Well,
you
we should
know?
also just teach how to prevent it in general to a general populace, and not sit there and just assume that it's just men getting raped or just women getting raped. Because yes, there is a small percentage of men who do get raped as well. Some of them don't report it, and I've actually done research on this one to where men feel emasculated and don't wish to share what happened. A good example is there's a story that I'll also link in the description as well of a Marine and a freaking Marine that got raped by a pregnant woman. And how this happened was they were drinking. Well, he was drinking. She obviously wasn't. And she basically took advantage of him when he was intoxicated, and he felt emasculated because when he tried to stop what was going on, her exact words were, quote unquote, "If you move, I'll hurt the baby and you'll be in trouble." So it was kind of like lay there and accept it, or go to jail for like possibly killing an unborn child. So I don't know about you, but that seems like kind of like a threat to me. And I don't know which route
Sounds
you
more
would
like
take.
of a threat than anything, because the way you described that, she was getting what she wants, but if she didn't get it, she would use what was living inside of her.
As a weapon.
Hmm.
Now, that's just an idea, but the reason I'm bringing that up is because it should. Hempaku's right. It should come into both sides. We should be teaching both sides the dangers and both sides the prevention. This way, that everybody knows. Now, sure, a lot of people can sit there and say, "Well, then men just need to be taught not to rape." No, 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 no. That's like saying, that's
Doesn't
like
make the problem go away.
that doesn't make the
Sorry.
problem go away. That's like me going up to a criminal and saying, "Well, you're a criminal. You need to stop being a criminal. You need to stop robbing banks. You need to stop burglarizing houses. You need to stop selling drugs." It's
I
it's
think
not
my
going to do
uncle's about
anything.
to knock on my door.
Long story short, the situation with the females and males having a form of sexual lust for another is a normal occurrence for a human body. Yes, but in the sense, the word rape is also can be considered is considered to be used for situations that can occur between these two male and females that don't actually see eye to eye and wanting to do sexual pleasures within one another.
That reminds me. I don't like the word rape. Rape is such a negative term. Why can't we say something more positive, like surprise sex?
That's when you yell surprise and throw confetti.
Right? A surprise rape. I mean, surprise sex.
Surprise! But hey.
That's
No, no, no.
that's almost as bad as saying you can't spell date without sedate. Which also brings up another thing. If the females happen to have said things that can identify date rape, drugs, and other stuff, that's a normal occurrence thing too. People end up drugging females and or males depending on the situation of, oh hey, I want to get laid tonight. I'm gonna Lucy someone's goosey with a drink or something, just to go, oh hey, I got a quickie I could do.
Oh
But no,
god.
I'm not trying to make it sound wrong. I'm just trying to make it to get a standpoint going.
Well, obviously, yeah. So,
It's like,
well, like you were saying though,
so yeah, the
it's just
human
yeah.
nature causes this crap. And yes, dealing with the teaching the kids at an age that should be acquired about say 15 or 16 years of age, they learn about sex ed. They should actually incorporate that as well. I will not deny that, but it also can be a bit of a serious matter because the parents, what if the parents were actually, you know,
The
using
cause.
the word rape again in this, yeah, was the cause of having that child? That you would think that how the hell would they been conceived? is a way regarding to that is called quote unquote. Do you mind me saying that?
Go ahead.
Of
Say whatever you
si-
desire.
all right. The word abortion comes into mind at that point, but that's
That's
their
far.
own human natures to actually decide to do that. But that's in a sense squandering human life. That probably wasn't. I'm not saying that human life is not bad in any way, shape, or form, but being conceived in such a horrendous way would make some sense of depression in the child because the
Well,
mother is dealing with such issues at that point too.
wait, knowing that it's a rape child, or knowing that?
Yeah,
Well, obviously that would come into a play if the child was of, you know, that kind of descent. But like we were saying before, it mainly has to come down to how we could prevent similar things like that, rather than just telling people to teach the. Instead of teaching why it's wrong, we should, or why it's wrong, we should teach why it's
how to
wrong and
prevent.
how to prevent it. Because criminals
That's
already.
that's an all entire different story for the school concept in general on that as well.
Well, yeah, some parents don't want to teach their kid, or don't want the schools teaching this kind of stuff, because they believe that, oh, well, it comes onto my responsibility. It's like the whole sex ed thing. Because when you start going into that, you start going into people talking about sex ed, and then they'll start going, "Oh my God, I don't want my teachers telling my kids information. I want to be the one to tell them to make sure they get the right information." So,
That's that's the parenthood choice. I can't say yes or no to that. That's how I went to sex ed when I was young. It didn't phase me. I was like, oh great, I'm learning about more human anatomy than I should. Great.
I
Yeah, but the
That's
pers-
thing
just
is,
me.
go ahead, puppy.
yeah, but the thing is, with the sex ed, they're only giving you partial information. But honestly, it's just like bits and pieces of information that's literally all mixed and jumboed up when you can just get it straight from your parents. They'll just tell if they want to tell you it, that's their job.
Well, yeah, I personally took it. I enjoyed sex ed. I just said I just was kind of done with it at the very end, because it was kind of like it's taught me nothing. It literally taught me nothing. So, but we should start wrapping this up because some of us do have other things to be doing. But I like Puppy here has to go do his new job at his law firm as a lawyer, I think.
Just get it right. I work at Amazon.
Wait, seriously?
You
Yeah.
work at Amazon.
Dude,
Okay.
can you get me discounts?
No.
Damn.
Only if you become famous, maybe discounts.
Well, I will find some reason if you can get me an endorsement with them. But anywho, final thoughts on this video. Do you think it was good? Do you think it was bad? Anybody who actually agrees or disagrees with us can post in the comments below and tell us what you believe. If you think that we're a bunch of raving lunatics or morons, and if you
By
have,
all means, happily tell us that.
well, I
And a
personally
link,
don't care.
and a link to the describing story of what Bunny was talking about will be posted.
Oh yeah, the different stories that we talked about will be posted, as well as statistics and information that I based a lot of my stuff on. For instance, I will find the statistics on how many males compared to females are raped to show you there is actually a number there. So, just to show that statistically speaking, yes, males do. It may not be as much as, but it's there.
Indeed.
So.
And on that note, we should think of our children and what possible ways to get this information to them aside from this particular YouTube video that we're trying to describe and explain. And on that note, uh, any last words before we end up passing out?
I just want to make it apparently clear that we are not hating on this YouTuber by chance that we're bringing up. She is actually a very good YouTuber, even though I just started watching her as of recent. She is. She's not bad. She actually does.
She's very good of a comedian. I'll give her
Yeah,
that.
she's very good of a comedian, and we understand a lot of what she was saying was satire, like the scene where she was dressing as a man and talking about rape to other men. Obviously, that was a stab at those hardcore feminists that openly state all men are rapists when that's obviously false information. So it it's information like that kind of just kills an argument when you think about it. Because if I go up to somebody and say all black people are thieves, not only do I look like a racist, I look very ignorant, and also I'm probably going to get beaten up after this video.
That doesn't.
But you
Of course you would think that.
well
Who's gonna be in their right mind to go and track you down at that point? It'd be
well, but
ridiculous.
you get the point though. It's like if I
Yes.
were to actually openly
so
and
basi-
endorse that, then
It was
yes,
basic description. It was just an example.
yeah. And as for you,
Definitely.
puppy, any last words or comments, or any like recipes on how to make a really good lobster bisque?
Nope, not really.
All right. So I think this was a pretty good first episode. Maybe a little bit, cut and dry, but hey, it's our first shot at this wild experiment we're going to be trying. So remember to like this video, favorite the video, and subscribe
welcome
and
to share
share
as
and
well.
yeah, and do whatever you damn well, please, because we will very much love the views as well as the exposure. Because hopefully we can. I wouldn't mind doing this more often and doing little bits of political talk, or as well as just random video game discussions as well. Because I
And
have
we
a,
will give you the information that you desire.
oh yeah, we will.
Basically, in a nutshell, what he's trying to say is we just want to get out there and broadcast information that's of intelligence and want to share it with you people of the world. So
Well,
that's
yeah.
pretty much what he's saying.
I think I discovered a good name for this show.
And what would that be?
How does Radio Rabbit sound?
I'm up for it. I'm up for it.
The radical rabbit.
Radical.
The radical
Podcast
rabbit
crew.
videos.
Oh, all right,
The
that works.
podcast crew.
Radical Rabbit Podcast Crew.
Yeah, that works.
All right, and we'll have our little mascot be like a bunny ears that have like freaking radio waves coming off of them. But
Or you could end up having a bunny trying to stick something into a plug outlet and then getting shocked and having free Wi-Fi out of his ears.
that works. That exactly works. All right. So I hope you guys love this. This is Radio Rabbit Podcast Crew signing off for the first time.
Peace out.
I'm Puppy.
I'm Bunny,
And I'm Hydra the Circle.
and deuces, brah.
We're friends!